Hey, welcome to Crossroads, everyone, and thank you for being back. We're back live. We're going to go about half an hour on news. We'll jump into the Q&A afterwards, so if you have questions, leave them in the chat, and we'll jump to it. Now, look, first off, the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, he's been indicted on bribery and fraud charges, and this includes allegations of accepting illegal campaign contributions from foreign nationals. A lot of it seems like it's from Turkey. Now, the federal investigation appears to include others in his administration as well, on other crimes as well, it seems. Now, he's scheduled to be arraigned today at federal courthouse in Manhattan, but first, I want to go over the indictment, which was unsealed yesterday. This is what it actually says, right? It's the United States of America versus Eric Adams. It says in 2014, Eric Adams, the defendant, became Brooklyn Borough president. Thereafter, for nearly a decade, it says Adams sought and accepted improper valuable benefits, such as luxury international travel, including from wealthy foreign business people, and at least one Turkish government official seeking to gain influence over him. It says that by 2018, Adams, who had by then made known his plans to run for mayor of New York City, not only accepted, but sought illegal campaign contributions to his 2021 mayoral campaign, as well as other things of value from foreign nationals. Now, note that as Adams's prominence and power grew, his foreign national benefactors sought to cash in on their corrupt relationship with him, particularly when, in 2021, it became clear that Adams would become New York City's mayor. And that's that Adams agreed, providing favorable treatment in exchange for the illicit benefits he received. And after his inauguration as mayor of New York City, Adams soon began preparing for his next election, including by planning, it claims, to solicit more legal contributions and granting requests from those who supported his 2021 mayoral campaign with such donations. Now, I want to be clear, innocent till proven guilty. The indictments often sound maybe worse because they're trying to make a case against him, but I want to go over what it actually kind of means. The indictment goes on to note how Adams allegedly accepted foreign campaign contributions from straw donors and how this worked by smuggling in donations through donors in the United States. And so foreign entities giving money to local individuals then donating money to Adams, they claim. Now, it also alleges that there were similar schemes with businesses, big corporations, and they were giving donations by funneling the money through employees. Now, again, let's see what they actually have with this, because, if a company gives a bonus to an employee and the employee wants to donate it, how do you prove that, right? Now, the big allegation here, though, is that the money came with strings attached, right? They wanted something back from him, given these entities and their influence over him. I would actually say this is one of the problems you have with campaign donations in general, because unless it's an individual giving money, typically a big corporation or lobbying group, they want something out of it. It's unfortunately one of the ways our political system works, when it comes to campaign contributions. I think that's an ongoing problem that's a lot bigger than just this. Now, the other issue with these donations, though, is what are called public matching funds. And basically, in New York City, there's a program where they will match donations from small donors. And, since Adams is being accused of getting illegal donations, right, illegal money coming in, they claim from foreign countries and so on, he's being accused of defrauding the city because the city gives you these matching funds based on small donors. It says that his 2021 mayoral campaign received more than $10 million in public funds through this program. Now, look, according to the indictment also, part of these foreign connections were to Turkey. And it says that Adams and his companions, quote unquote, received various benefits, including discounted travel to places including France, China, Sri Lanka, India, Hungary, and Turkey. And it alleges also that Turkish officials and Turkish nationals arranged for Adams and his companions to get other benefits like fancy hotel rooms and meals and other luxuries while they were in Turkey. Now, let me show you this. Here's how the United States Attorney for the Southern District of New York, Damian Williams, put it. Watch.
We also allege that the mayor sought and accepted well over $100,000 in luxury travel benefits from some of the same foreign actors who arranged many of the illegal campaign contributions. These benefits included free international business class flights and opulent hotel rooms in foreign cities. These upgrades and freebies were not part of some frequent flyer or loyalty program available to the general public. As we allege, this was a multi-year scheme to buy favor with a single New York City politician on the rise, Eric Adams.
Now, look, those of you who've watched my show for a while know that I've talked about Chinese influence operations, especially related to the United Front. I can say this stuff is actually really common. It's extremely common. In fact, one of the ways the Chinese Communist Party tries to get politicians under its, kind of system is it will have individuals approach them through the United Front Work Department, and it will try to get them to travel to China, and oftentimes it looks exactly like this. Right? So they give discounted travel, they give them a 5-star stay, and they charge them like a very small amount of money for it. Which raises some questions over why are they going after Eric Adams when frankly a lot of people could be guilty of these same accusations. One question I would personally have with this. Now, back to the case itself though, one of the problems with this is that Adams and others, right, they're accused of not disclosing the benefits on annual public disclosure forms, which you would have been required to do as a New York City employee, right? If you're a government official, you work for the people. Although it says that he sometimes paid a nominal fee while getting discounted prices, and that's going to be funny as well because, again, that's very common. You do have a lot of public officials who will accept discounted travel. They might not say it's discounted travel. They might say that we have a travel package for you and your companions. And you accept it, of course, and basically try to bring you into their system. Now, the indictment goes on to note other allegations, including that these foreign ties resulted in policy, and this is one of the big ones. For example, it says that in September 2021, the Turkish official that, again, Adams allegedly had these ties with, told him that as a form of repayment for what he was doing, he should help pressure the New York City Fire Department to facilitate the opening of a new Turkish consulate building. And it alleges that, quote, Adams did as he was instructed, right? It notes that the 57-page document, of course, goes on it keeps going on like this. There's tons of examples like this. It's going to be a rough case. Again, we'll go over it. Now, let me show you this. Now, look, with that said, the FBI raided Gracie Mansion, right? That's the mayor's home in New York City, and it seized his phone as part of the case. If Adams resigns, which he's being pressured to do, he'll be replaced by New York City public advocate Jumaane Williams as acting mayor. And look, it's important to note also, he's innocent until proven guilty. We'll see what comes out from this. On the part of Mayor Adams, he's declaring his innocence in a speech recorded at his official residence. Let me show you this.
My fellow New Yorkers, it is now my belief that the federal government intends to charge me with crimes. If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target, and a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty. I know I am innocent. I will request an immediate trials so the New Yorkers can hear the truth.
All right, now, so where this really gets interesting, Eric Adams, on his part, he's alleging that these charges are a form of retaliation against him because he's criticizing the Biden administration policies on mass migration. Watch this.
New Yorkers know my story. They know where I come from. I have been fighting injustice my entire life. That fight has continued as your mayor. Despite our pleas, when the federal government did nothing as its broken immigration policies overloaded our shelter system with no relief, I put the people of New York before party and politics.
Now, Adams goes on to say that he will not step down as mayor during the trial. He was pressured to do it. he's not doing it. He's going to stay in and he's going to fight this while he does it. And it actually seems the current investigation in New York City, it also includes other officials, not just Adams. I'll be talking about this after we come back from a quick break.
Experts agree. One of the best ways to protect against financial uncertainty is to diversify your portfolio. Learn how physical gold and silver can secure your retirement funds from today's economic challenges. With a gold IRA from American Hartford Gold, you can safeguard your wealth with no penalties or taxes when you transfer your current qualifying retirement accounts. Call now and our precious metals specialists will send you a free information kit, no cost or obligation. American Hartford Gold, a trusted industry leader with an A+ from the Better Business Bureau, has a 5-star rating from thousands of happy clients. Whether you are getting physical precious metals in a gold IRA or delivered to your doorstep, we offer only the highest quality gold and silver. For your peace of mind, we also offer a no-fee buyback commitment, a low-price guarantee, along with free shipping and free insurance. So don't wait. Call the number on your screen today and secure your financial future.
Hey, welcome back. Folks, New York City Mayor Eric Adams, again, he's been indicted by federal prosecutors on bribery and fraud charges, and the charges against him include allegations of soliciting and accepting illegal campaign contributions, and attempting to cover up the bribes, and also allegedly repeatedly misusing his political power on behalf of foreign donors. Now look, Adams is suggesting that this whole effort, all these things, are really just politically motivated attacks against him, and the mayor says that he will not resign from office as the whole case goes on. Now look, as this takes place, it seems the current investigations in New York City could actually include other officials. It's not just Adams. According to New York Post, sources told the outlet the New York City Sheriff Anthony Miranda is allegedly also now under investigation over allegations that he solicited donations for the National Latino Officers Association, which is an organization that he leads. And he's allegedly done that in exchange for the sheriff's office turning a blind eye on some issues. This is the New York Post. It says the probe is being handled by the Department of Investigations after a complaint was recently lodged against Miranda, two sources said, as Eric Adams' administration has been engulfed in a series of separate federal inquiries. All happening at once just by coincidence, right? Now it says the city investigators are looking into whether Miranda sought donations to the National Latino Officers Association by offering to ignore certain law enforcement issues, according to the sources. Now note that the DOI, that's the Department of Investigations again, is also looking into whether the sheriff's office improperly seized cash from unlicensed pot shops during raids that took place in recent months. And there's a lot of them in New York, by the way. And that's according to Daily News, again citing their own sources. Now, this is happening also, as you might remember also, other mayors and other officials in New York have had other issues. Mayor Rudy Giuliani, the former New York City mayor, he just got disbarred in Washington. And again, Giuliani, that case, is related to his involvement in former President Donald Trump's legal challenges against the alleged fraud in the 2020 elections, right? He questioned the outcome of the elections. Giuliani was involved in the legal cases. They disbarred Giuliani over that because, you know, the narrative with that is he tried overthrowing the election, right? Now, this also comes just a few years also after former New York City Governor Andrew Cuomo resigned from his position in 2021 over sexual harassment allegations. You might remember that, right? Different women were coming up claiming sexual harassment, and then what happened? Well, they pushed him out of office, and as soon as he left office, they dropped all the allegations. They dropped all the charges. Nothing to see here, right? Makes you wonder, again, if that was politically motivated also, or whether that was actually legitimate, right? Because, again, they cared about it enough to push him out of office. They didn't care about it enough to pursue it afterwards. Maybe they were being nice to him, who knows? Interestingly, though, guess who's coming back? Andrew Cuomo is allegedly considering running for New York City mayor, again, depending on what happens with Adams now, or maybe even after the administration. And so Cuomo might actually come back. Now, again, innocent until proven guilty. We'll see how these charges go, and I'll keep you all updated on this as it goes forward. It's going to get interesting again because there's a lot of political infighting related to this. Eric Adams, of course, has been one of the individuals even clearing the local prison and saying they've readied it for Donald Trump to go to prison in New York. But he's also been standing up against a lot of the mass immigration policies here as well. And so he's kind of an interesting figure with all this. Now, in other news, former President Donald Trump has allegedly been warned by U.S. intelligence of an Iranian plot to assassinate him. And interestingly, he's connecting this to the other attempted assassinations against him, which is making this whole thing very strange, frankly. Now, this follows the recent 2 attempts on Donald Trump's life and also the Iranian hacker breach of his campaign, you might remember. Now, this is a statement from Stephen Chung, Trump Campaign Communications Director. It says this. He said, President Trump was briefed earlier today by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, right, U.S. intelligence, regarding real and specific threats from Iran to assassinate him in an effort to destabilize and sow chaos in the United States. And notes that intelligence officials have identified that these continued and coordinated attacks have heightened in the last few months. And it says also, law enforcement officials across all agencies are working to ensure President Trump is protected and the election is free from interference. Maybe this is a recent change because he wasn't too protected until recently, but that is interesting, right? They did actually just arrest another individual who was threatening to assassinate Trump, and so they have now preemptively gone after somebody, and so it does seem that maybe they're increasing this. Now look, in light of these threats though, Donald Trump posted this on X. He said this, big threats on my life by Iran. The entire U.S. military is watching and waiting. Moves were already made by Iran that didn't work out. Makes you wonder what he's talking about, right? Moves were already made by Iran that didn't work out. But they will try again. Not a good situation for anyone. He says, I am surrounded by more men, guns, and weapons than I have ever seen before. Thank you to Congress for unanimously approving far more money to Secret Service. 0, no votes, strictly bipartisan. Nice to see Republicans and Democrats get together on something. An attack on a former president is a death wish for the attacker. Now, Trump is suggesting that the threats like this from foreign countries normally require strong pushback from a country's leaders. And basically what he's saying in some of his other statements, including this one, right? Trump is saying, if Iran is threatening to kill one of the leading presidential candidates and is threatening to kill the former president of the United States, you normally need the president of the United States to come out and make some serious criticisms or statements against that country. Trump noted actually in one of his other public speeches that, you know, if he were president, he would threaten Iran. He'd say, do this and we'll decimate you, essentially. But interestingly as well, I would add that Trump has a track record of not being afraid to do that. I don't think he's exaggerating. You might remember when North Korea was making threats, Trump countered them with even stronger ones. Remember, my button is much bigger than yours and it works. You might remember he said that. Now, this comes actually amid something else though, right? This whole alleged Iran assassination plot. This has actually been in the headlines for a bit, and they've actually even made arrests in New York on this. This comes amid a broader U.S. focus on Iranian assassination networks working in the United States, including in New York City. Now, I'll be talking about this, though, only on EpochTV.com. So those of you watching us on YouTube, Facebook, X, Rumble, click the link in the description and join us for the rest of the episode, including the live Q&A on EpochTV.com. I'll be going over your questions, answering them, and let me show you all a quick trailer for my documentary, The Final War, before we jump over. I'll see you on EpochTV.com.
The greatest threat facing the United States is the CCP.
The Epoch Times investigation team had studied the CCP for years, but what we uncovered was yielding evidence beyond our imagination.
With Chairman Mao, with the Prime Minister, Our talks have been characterized by frankness.
The Clinton administration said, oh, don't worry about it. This will be a poison pill for China.
China's strategic goal is to make sure that the U.S. has 4 enemies, and one of them must be a terrorist group.
We are giving of our life's blood so that the Chinese Communist Party can survive and thrive.